Hello, I'm Matt from ludovox.fr, and today I'm going to give you an overview of Mini Diversity. So, Mini Diversity is a cooperative hand management game for 1 to 7 players, ages 8 and up, and it plays for 15 to 20 minutes. So, in this game, you are a group of divers and you try to save a few species from extinction. To save a species, you need to pull it out of the card on the green side, but if it goes down out of the card on the red side, it's going to go extinct. And you're going to lose the game if too many species go extinct. And you need to save a few species to win the game. There are difficulty settings telling you how many species you should save to win the game. And there are obviously other defeat conditions. So what makes Mini Diversity peculiar is that you're going to hold your hand with your card facing your opponents. You're never going to know what you have in hand. So on your turn, you're going to have two phases, the corporation phase and the action phase. During the corporation phase, you're just going to flip a card from the corporation deck, apply its ability, and then move on to the next phase. You have three different effects, types of abilities in the corporation deck. You have the hotel effect, which is going to have you flip cards from the shells that are shown. If the hotels are already on the hotel side, they do not get flipped on the island side, which is the good side, because if all 6 islands become hotels, this is the end of the game and the players have lost. Second ability that you can have is dynamite fishing. So if you reveal this card, you're going to reveal and discard the first card of the draw stack. And the first card of the deck is going to give you what species is going to go down one space towards extinction. So for example here, turtles are going to move one space towards extinction. So this is really bad. And finally, last ability that we can have is petrol, oil platforms, and when you draw and reveal this card, you're going to basically do the same as the dynamite fishing, but from your hand. So you're going to be able to kind of choose the card if you have any information, any relevant information. So you reveal a card from your hand, discard it, and then move that species towards extinction. Or extinguish it if it's already in the red area. Every time you discard a card, you're going to draw a card, place it in your hand without looking at it. Then, once you have performed your corporation action of revealing one card, you're going to move on to your action phase. So your action phase is very simple. You have 3 choices. They are obviously good choices. The first choice that you have is using a walkie-talkie. To use a walkie-talkie, you're going to tell the player what cards they have in hand. So for example, the green player on my left has 2 crabs and an octopus. So I could tell that player, okay, you have 2 crabs on your right and an octopus on your left. This is it, you know your hand, your turn, your go. So this is the walkie-talkie action. Instead, I could also play a card for different abilities. I could play a card, any card of my hand, to flip a hotel back onto the island side. So for example, I would discard this stingray to make that hotel back into an island. Again, if I discard a card, I'm going to draw a card. The third possibility that I have on my turn is discarding a card to pull a species up towards salvation. So for example, I'm going to play this one, it's the turtle, and I'm going to move it to pull it back to salvation, so 1 space. And if the species go out of the card, it's out of the game, be it saved or extinct. So it cannot move when it's been out of the board. So you need to save a few species, then probably use the leftover cards to flip the hotels back to islands. So you're going to play like this until one of the end game conditions are met. There are 4 of them. The only win condition is if you've saved a certain number of species based on the difficulty of the game you've chosen. The others are defeat conditions. The first one is about hotels and islands. I've already told you about it. The second one is basically about losing species, a certain number of species, and you can't win anymore. And the third victory condition, or defeat condition in this case, is losing all of your cards and not being able to play. So if the animal's deck is empty, that you cannot play on your turn, you lose the game, all the players lose the game. So you also have divers, and these diver cards are dealt to the players every game, and you get a power that you can use. So for example, my diver here is able to look at her cards once in the game. So it is a really relevant advantage, and you need to use it at the right time so that you can perform actions better and you don't use up walkie-talkies, which use up time, basically. So there you have it for the base rules of Mini Divercity. This is a game of cooperation and coordination in which you try to save as many species and use up your cards as best as possible against the corporations. So bye bye and see you on ludovox.fr.